Someone make it make sense.
I'll read a couple.
Hello, party squirrels. How are y'all doing? Woo! We have more Karen Reed documents. And we have Judge Bev also allowing something crazy. Although it's a motion to impound. But anywho, still a step in the right direction. Shout out to James, first in. Shout out to ABC's docket. I love the race. That's super fun. I could do what like Lawyer Lee does. I've been meaning to do this. I think it's a fun thing. She's like the first five, you know? So like first five, like tonight, James Moen, ABC's docket, Twiz, Echoes of Clarity, and Candace. Any of y'all that don't have a custom command yet that want one, let me know, people. Yeah, she's always allowing the Commonwealth to do things. And we have a new member. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to Echoes of Clarity. We already have quite a number of things there for y'all that are members to take a look at and enjoy. And actually, I'm glad you mentioned it because I had some more thoughts for future members only live streams. Wanted to run by you guys. So yeah, so couple thoughts. So I had who was it? Somebody had kind of suggested it, but one idea was for a Never Have I Ever live stream. So that's one idea. Another idea we had already talked about, which was trivia, where everyone gets to suggest a category that they think they would win at, and then I do an even number of questions for everybody in those different categories. That's another one. And then I had another idea. This is totally something that we don't have to do, and you guys could totally be like, no, this is dumb. But I wanted to just mention it because I had another thought. And what got me thinking about it was I was telling my mom about Runkle and how when Runkle argued in front of the Supreme Court of Canada and won, and how he had like never been able to bring himself to like watching the recording or the video of him doing that. But then he finally did it for like a live stream. I think it was like for his birthday or whatever. And he like broke it down minute by minute of like what he was thinking and like when he thought he was going to throw up and like what was going through his head and all this stuff. Right. And I thought, you know, I'm just throwing it out there, right? Because it reminds me so much of watching videos of performances when you're a musician, like, you know, like there's so much similarity there. And I thought, you know, I don't know if anyone would ever care, but if anyone does care, you know, one thing we could do is we could watch videos of my performances where I, in painstaking detail, will tell you guys where I made a mistake, when I wanted to run and hide, or when I had or when something was especially difficult, or even just like, even if you guys would rather it be from like, let us know what the heck is going on, like musically, like any of it, right? But I just wanted to throw that out there as just something else we could do as well. You know, because you kind of, you know, it could give you, not that you guys want it, like it makes more sense with what Runkle did, but like giving people insight into like what you were thinking when you were in one of those moments where you're like, it's like a high pressure situation. You've got a lot of people watching and you're doing something that's really important at the time and whatever. So anyway, okay, just throwing that out there. And anybody who is on Replay Crew, if you guys have any thoughts, feel free to weigh in. And as always, there is a thread in the Discord where you guys can also make suggestions or recommendations for members only things. So yeah, so Echoes, let me know if you want a custom command. James, same for you as well. Candace says that sounds like it would be fun. Awesome. Cool. You know, and another thing too, again, I don't know if this is anything that you guys would be interested in, but like, as far as I'm just trying to think of like things that, you know, might be fun for y'all, like that I have any type of thing at, like, I don't even want to say skill because like that's like things that I do besides squirreling, you know, like I don't know, like how I go about writing a song from scratch. I mean, that's something that maybe some people would be interested in. I know that we've got a number of musicians in the Squirrel Crew, so and even if people are not musicians, they might still be curious, like how you go about writing a song. But anyway, But yeah, just throwing those ideas out there. What do y'all think about the never have I ever idea? If that's something that you think would be fun. So I'm thinking about how we could do it. There's kind of a number of ways we could do it, but welcome, Victory. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, and so anyone who's just getting here, if you guys want to go back, I don't know if even at the end of the live stream, if you guys want to go back, I know we just got started, but I've been listing out different ideas for members only live streams. So if anyone wants to check those out and weigh in on what y'all would like to see for members only, feel free. Black Witter, happy St. Patrick's Day. Although for you, it's I guess over by now because you're in Ireland. But happy St. Patrick's Day. I thought about you all day today. I can't type, and I only typed a B. Candace says, I would rather eat my own arm than do never have I ever too shy. Well, you could always just watch everyone else. But I appreciate you being honest about that. If you're, I think it could still be fun even if you don't do it. But if you don't think it would be fun without participating, I totally understand, and we don't have to do it. Victorine says, I love that game so much. Yeah, I'm totally all down with that. Like the never have I ever. And I guess truth or dare we couldn't do because, dare. But see, now I'm like, spin the bottle. It's like, but I don't know. It's just fun. Sometimes it's fun. Those different games that you play when you're in middle school and stuff. And it's like, it's been too long probably for most of us, I would imagine. You're saying you did like never have I ever? Or you didn't? Looks like you said you did like it. Yeah, I always liked Never Have I Ever. I mean, Truth or Dare was a little bit scarier just because you never know what someone's going to dare you to do. But Never Have I Ever, it's at least there's no danger there potentially. Victorine also loves Spin the Bottle. Love it. Also love your new profile picture. I think it's new. Beautiful. You'll be there to watch. Yeah, you can watch us all make fools of ourselves. How about that? You could be like, ha. You be the smart one in the room that didn't participate, but is just watching. That's awesome. Victorine loves all the games. Appalling trial moments. Oh my God, that would be so hard to pick. There's so many. There's so many. 30 Seconds in Heaven. I don't know if we ever did that one. Is that just whether they go lock two people in a room and they're supposed to make out or whatever? Could be 30 Seconds in Hell. Just depends on the situation, right? There's that really fun game. I forget what it's called, but it's the game that they play in Inglourious Bastards. You guys remember what I'm talking about? What is it called? It's the one where I don't know if, well, okay, let me try to remember and then we can figure out if it would be possible to do a live stream. It's the person has, well, the way they did it in the movie, right, is the person, whoever's turn it is, there's a name on a card or a piece of paper and they put it on their forehead. And so they don't see what the name is. And it's some other person. And then they have to ask questions. How did it go? You get a certain number of turns though, right? They had to ask questions to try to figure out who it was. There's a similar version that they play in the UK office of it's the game. I think they call that one Would It Fit in a Bread Box? Anyway, some of these might not be doable on a live stream, but I'm just thinking about games. So you'll be here till you crash? Awesome. Yeah, it's a great fucking movie, man. Love that movie. Great movie. Yeah, US Office too, definitely. Indubitably, as Michael Scott would say. The early worm gets the worm. Okay. So, Black Widow says she was going to bed, but she didn't want to. Well, go to bed people who need to go to bed go to bed, y'all. Y'all, it's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? We will probably be here when you wake up, won't we? Kidding, but probably not kidding because it happens a lot. Speaking of which, there's a hearing tomorrow, as you guys know, for Karen Reed. As per usual, okay. Y'all can revolt if you're we want to watch it live. It's just that there's always so many people streaming it, right? And I don't want to put people in this weird position where they feel like they want to just pop into like 10,000 different live streams so they can say hi to all their friends, but they're not ever getting any continuous coverage from the same person where you can even string a sentence together. You know what I mean? But so if you guys want me to cover it live, y'all can revolt and let me know. But otherwise I'll be probably doing it in the evening, as I tend to do. Because like, again, everybody's gonna be fucking covering it. Good night, Black Widow. Okay, ABC. I have to work during the day tonight. Watch is awesome. Okay, awesome. And you join. Okay, I'm trying to remember. You're joining us from. Let me think. Kentucky. No, gosh darn it. I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking of the time zone, but you guys know I try to always remember where you guys are from. For those of you guys who've let me know, which is pretty much everybody. The only TV show that could hold your attention span is The Office. Love it. I mean, The Office is fucking amazing. British and US. We love you, Black Widow. Nova Scotia. I don't know that I remember Nova Scotia. I remembered you were in Canada, but ABC's, hold on. Kansas. Wait, is it Kansas? Is it Kansas? See, if it's Kansas, then I was thinking a K, and that's why I said maybe it's Kansas. But that's, anyway, if you want to let me know, and I'm just thinking because the time zone. So yeah, so Night Watch is awesome. Okay, cool. Y'all, anyone else that wants to weigh in, feel free. Meanwhile, life goes on with another filing. Kansas, yay, got it on the second try. I knew it was a K word. By the way, for those of you guys who were hearing about my brother is back in town safely from the storm chasing on top of Boston. Just as long as you stay away from, well, still Boston's still in Massachusetts. I was going to say as long as you stay away from Canton, but I think we need to just stay away from Massachusetts. All right, so defendant's motion to impound Exhibit 1 in support of defendant's motion in limine to exclude the testimony of Commonwealth's witness, Dr. Judson Welcher. What a name. And request for voir dire. So request for voir dire is the interesting part. So they're asking for two things, and she says aloud. So it says, now comes impounding Exhibit 1 and request for voir dire. So aloud. Will this mean voir dire? Because when the fuck are they having that? I don't know. She says aloud, so time will tell what that means. I mean, she's allowing something, but it's compound, so we'll see. All right, that's it for that one. Short and sweet, right? Lickety split, as they say. All right, next up, Commonwealth's motion in limine to exclude expert testimony of Garrett Wing, like a bird with a wing. Okay, now comes the Commonwealth in the above caption. So one thing I'll say that's interesting is that, so we're seeing now, remember the defense witness list has not come out yet. And what we're learning in these is that there's new witnesses, expert witnesses that the defense did not have the first time. I do not remember a Garrett Wing. I would remember that name. So, and I don't know, again, I didn't follow anything pre-trial from the first trial, so I don't know if they tried to get him in then and he was excluded, or I don't know. I don't know if he's just new or old new. But either way, okay. So the Massachusetts rule specifies that expert opinion evidence includes the identity, curriculum vitae, and list of publications of each intended expert witness, and all reports prepared by that expert that pertain to the case. Here, the defendant failed to provide the Commonwealth with any report with any basis for any opinion it intends to offer at trial. So this is a situation. So far, they've not said he's not qualified. They said they didn't get a report. In regard to the above named expert, I know, right? For real, yeah. And I'm just waiting for them. I mean, the reason I just said what I said is because I'm just waiting for them to start to try to knock his qualifications or methodology, and I'll lose my fucking mind after Dr. Crosby, and also that he was allowed. In regard to the above named expert Wing, all the Commonwealth has been provided with is a curriculum vitae. The Commonwealth has no information as to the substance of Wing's testimony or any opinion he may render. Without a report provided, the Commonwealth is entirely unable to prepare for any suggested testimony of Wing and would not have sufficient time to provide any rebuttal evidence. As the Commonwealth is not expected to proceed with trial by, oh, here we go. Here we go. Get the box of Kleenex for Hank Breenan. As the Commonwealth is not expected to proceed with trial by ambush, The Commonwealth asks this honorable court, or as DSN so astutely put it that one day in chat, this, what did he say, barely honorable court or something, which is being generous, to exclude the testimony of this alleged expert. Holy fuck, alleged expert? I don't even think the defense said that about Dr. Crosby and Dr. whatever his name was with the hard rock stuff, which is, I mean, come on. Wow. All right. In the alternative, the Commonwealth moves to compel the defendant to provide the Commonwealth with the subject matter of his testimony reports and notes. Well, obviously that's the solution, right? Turn the shit over. That's dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Okay, next one. Commonwealth's motion in limine. Michael Easter. And I think Easter is actually coming up. Won't Easter happen during the trial, maybe? That would be kind of crazy. If it happens around same time as court would be closed. Anyway, shout out to the Easter Bunny. Commonwealth's motion in limine to exclude defense's expert Michael Easter's opinion of the investigation. So this is an expert we did not see again last time. And this happens in some trials. I will give an example. In the Murdoch trial, one of the defense expert witnesses they brought in a dude to try to give an opinion of how the investigation, and like the crime scene and shit, right, was done. And it didn't really go very far because there weren't that many mistakes. And I always wondered why they didn't have somebody do this last time. And I wondered if maybe it's because they figured the jury would get it. Like the red Solo cups, like I feel like no one should have to explain to you. I mean, just for one thing, right? Just for one thing, just that one thing. The list is so long, but like that alone, I feel like I don't care who you are. That should be like, yeah, problem. Like this is not real. Like a toddler could have done better. But I suppose that given the outcome of the first trial, maybe they said, maybe we do need someone who's an expert to come in and explain how this is such an atrocity. And it's offensive, honestly, of what they did here. So anyway, Michael Easter would be someone who comes in and I can't even imagine though. I'm trying to picture these people who are experts. And when, experts have different fields, it's someone who's an expert in like assessing how well of an investigation or how good of an investigation was done. I'm trying to picture that person who, if they're unfamiliar with this case, and then them being provided with the discovery and how the investigation was done and them seeing all the shit that happened. I'm trying to imagine how they wouldn't just like, I don't even know what, think that someone's pranking them or they're hallucinating or it's a nightmare or just drop dead of a heart attack. I don't even know how, like, I feel like you'd be like, I don't even know how I would even, where to begin, because it's like, it's so obviously bad. How do you explain it? Right. Again, the red Solo cups. Anywho, naturally, the Commonwealth does not want that to happen. So the Commonwealth moves to exclude the proposed personal opinion. Personal opinion. What? Personal opinion. Like it's just a random person on the street and not an expert? Okay. Personal opinion of Michael Easter, a retired special agent for the FBI, regarding alleged inadequacies alleged inadequacies? Oh my God. Footnote 1. To the Commonwealth's knowledge, Mr. Easter was not involved in the U.S. Attorney's Office. Okay, well then that's good. So there's not a conflict then? Okay, good. I'm glad you're not alleging that. I feel like I'm going to need my goat. By the way, I named my goat. It just came to me today. His name is Hector. The Commonwealth does not dispute that Mr. Easter is qualified to render an opinion regarding cell site and cell tower location information. However, Mr. Easter is not qualified to, wait, hold on, not Hector, sorry, Herbert. I knew it was a nerdy H word. Herbert, because it go, yeah, Herbert, that's the name that I gave him, H name, Herbert, that was it. I was like, Norbert or Herbert, and I was like, oh, he's a Herbert. Okay, I was driving and it came to me. Okay, so the Commonwealth does not dispute that Mr. Easter is qualified to render an opinion regarding cell site and cell tower location information. However, Mr. Easter is not qualified to render his opinion about any alleged inadequacies. I can't believe they're even saying that, to be honest with you guys. Really? Breenan, are you not gonna, like, what happened? What happened to him? He was a defense attorney back in the day. And so quickly, I don't even, dude, this is insane. Alleged okay, in the police investigation. That is a determination left solely to the trier of fact. It is absolutely not. This is an expert. This expert witness field. I've seen this. I gave an example of Murdoch, but that's not the only trial. This is something that people hire experts for, literally all the time, to come in and explain to the jury why the investigation was so bad. And again, I think that this didn't happen in the first trial, probably because they were like, the jury's going to get it. They're not going to need help. And the leaf blower and the Stop and Shop bag. I mean, the list. Yeah, sorry. It's Herbert. It just popped into my head because literally I had been pulling up these documents and getting these documents. And then I went to go run some errands and I was in the car and I was like, I just read a small portion of one of these and I was like, oh my God. And then I was thinking about how much I'm going to rely on the goat. And when I thought that to myself, I named the goat just inadvertently, which is how I tend to name things. It's not like I try to, I'm just thinking of the thing and then the thing has a name. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really going to need Herbert tonight. It was like that. Right. And then I was like, oh, now he has a name. So, what's the goat called on Amazon? What is it called? The goat? I don't even know. Screaming goat, probably. Apparently there's a Christmas version. If anybody wants to get the Christmas version and send it to me so I can have a Christmas goat, feel free. But it's the screaming goat. And the way that you see it, and it's the goat that everybody has on LawTube. It's hard to tell because it looks like it's a book. It's actually under the category of books. And like, that's how they have it. It's like, oh, it's a book about the goat meme or whatever. That's the one. It comes with a little booklet, but it comes with the goat. And I mean, I don't even think I have the booklet, right? But that's the one. So it's like, it's all about the goat, right? But like the way that it's packaged and labeled, it looks like it's about the history of the meme with the goat. So, right. Pretty sure FBI career allows him to be, yup. Yes, it has a base. It has a base. Yep. Yep. You know how sometimes I say I've just got it and I'm just like fiddling with it in my hand. I put my finger between the goat belly and the base of the goat, and you can actually press the goat button really easily from there. Yeah, it has a base. It's really funny. I never knew that. So we see these goats from other people on LawTube, and I never knew that it had the base, right? Because when you see the goat, you don't see very much of the goat. And usually the goat is in the hand, or the base is in the hand, the person's hand. So you don't really see it. So I was really surprised when I got it and it had the base. I was like, wait, is this not the right one? And then I took a closer look and I was like, oh my God, no, it's totally, it is the only one. It's the only one, but it's totally the same one. It's just that depending on, different LawTubers hold it different ways and you don't usually see the base, but if you look for it, if you're looking for it, you can see it. But yeah, if anyone, I can always take a picture and put it in the Discord, but, yeah, it has the base. It's standing on like a tree trunk. Shout out to Heather. Am I grabbing it by the storm? Mother of God, no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're not grabbing any stormy goats, storms. So yes, so that is the one. And again, if anyone sees the Christmas goat, wants to gift it to me for a holiday or whatever, feel free. I know Runkle has a Christmas goat. And I think it's the same goat, but with a scarf, festive, and again, just to remind everybody, it's got replaceable batteries because I've just rejuvenated mine here recently with the hurt ear, and his ear's all good now, and then he got new batteries, so Herbert is good to go. Okay, so the touchstone of, oh my God, I'm already getting annoyed. I was already annoyed. I'm already getting more annoyed. Let's just say it that way. Oh, and I just saw a notification. I believe ABC's docket just put the link in the chat for the Screaming Goat, the exact one. Thank you, thank you, thank you, ABC's. That is the one. Okay. The touchstone of admissibility is reliability. The touchstone of Breenan is, I don't even know, fill in the blank. Y'all, finish that sentence. The touchstone of Breenan is blank. Y'all can finish that sentence for me. Well, I'm screaming in my head, so there's that. Yeah, it's because there's the videos that went viral of the goat. That sound is the actual goat sound that they make in the videos. Like that's not computer generated. That's actual legit goat scream. The touchstone of Breenan is fill in the blank. And the defendant must establish the 5 foundational requirements for admission. First, that the expert witness's testimony will assist the trier of fact. Second, that the witness is qualified in the relevant area. Third, the facts are sufficient to enable the witness to give an admissible opinion that is not mere speculation. Fourth, the expert opinion is based on a reliable principle or methodology. Oh boy. And fifth, the expert's opinion is reliably applied to the principles and methods to the facts of the case. While the defendant has the right to base her defense on the failure of police adequately to investigate a murder in order to raise the issue of reasonable doubt as to the defendant's guilt in the minds of the jury. This is so offensive. This is achieved through it doesn't have to be Breenan, stop. This is achieved through cross-examination of the witnesses and not a different law enforcement officer to opine that he would have conducted the investigation differently. So they do have some case law here. Let's just see from 2006. Because again, this type of expert happens all the time. Police reports detailing the incriminating words and conduct of another suspect would be admissible to show that the police were on notice of the suspect, but failed to investigate his possible involvement in the murder. Huh? It doesn't say that these were, what they're citing here, it doesn't say that this was not allowed in. I'm going to read it again. Police reports detailing the incriminating words and conduct of another suspect would be admissible. Breenan. Are you confused? Would be admissible to show that the police were on notice of the suspect but failed to investigate. Pardon? Is Breenan confused? Oh, God. Well, okay. A defendant does not, quote, have an unfettered right to elicit, oh my God, that's because I'm thinking Breenan, elicit evidence regarding the adequacy of the police investigation. The admissibility of such evidence hinges first and foremost on its relevance. Well, we all know that. Relevancy. Relevant evidence means evidence having any tendency to make a consequential fact more or less probable and provide a link in the chain of proof. Well, here's one thing I will say. That in terms of this point that they're making, I wouldn't have maybe thought of this connection, but since Breenan brought it up, what about the third-party culprit defense, right? Karen Reed being framed. With that in mind, it does make this actually consequential to the facts of the case and not just relevant for all of the other reasons. That gives it an additional reason of relevancy. Yeah, Alessi. So then the funny thing, so Hank Breenan had no trouble initially with Mr. Alessi's name, but as of the past 2 hearings, he has only been calling him Mr. Alesi, which has just been driving everybody crazy. So now everybody calls Breenan Breenan, which I think is fucking hilarious. Right. Thank you for quoting Ashley Jennings. Heather coming in clutch. At the end of the day, I can't wrap my head around their logic is flawed. Thank you for that, Heather. Alessi is so adorable. I love Alessi. Okay. Mr. Easter's opinions are premised upon unspecified discovery material provided by the Commonwealth from an electronic folder produced to him by Attorney Jackson. Oh, I wonder if that's the fuckery Lolliport video shit stuff. The entirety of what he reviewed or did not review was not disclosed to the Commonwealth. How dare you complain about things not being disclosed to you? For real. Mr. Easter's opinions contrasting best practices are devoid of any real-world considerations, such as weather. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys see where this is going, right? Like the real world considerations, such as it was snowing, means they had the right to use red Solo cups. That's where this is going. And without consideration of the physical evidence, the defense many statements. Oh my God. What? Why would her statements have anything to do with how they can? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. The best practices of law enforcement at a crime scene has absolutely nothing to do with the. What he's saying is this. Let me keep reading. The defendant's many statements, the vehicle data, the fact that witnesses have testified under oath in many situations 3 times, in an understanding that it was a grand jury of citizens who charged and indicted the defendant. This is what he's saying. He's saying, look, because we know she did it, because she's definitely guilty, it doesn't matter how the crime scene was investigated. That is what he is saying. How the fuck is he ever going to go back to being a defense attorney? He's not just become a representative for the Commonwealth. He has become the Commonwealth. Like literally, he is now the entire fucking state of Massachusetts. That's what Breenan has become. He's morphed. He's morphed. Wow. Wow. I'm going to read this again in case anybody missed how this is crazy. Mr. Easter's opinions contrasting best practices are devoid of any real-world considerations, such as weather, and without consideration of the physical evidence, the defendant's many statements, the vehicle data, the fact. I will just say the only thing of the things that he's listed that actually has anything to do with the actual crime scene and how you go about collecting evidence is the first thing he mentioned, which is the weather. The rest of this, irrelevant. But using weather as an excuse is not an excuse anyway. But anyway, okay. The physical evidence, the defendant's many statements, the vehicle data, the fact that witnesses have testified under oath in many situations 3 times, pardon, and an understanding that it was a grand jury of citizens who charged and indicted the defendant. Huh? Further, while qualified to render an opinion of CSLI location information, there is no inclination that Mr. Easter has the training and experience in investigating homicides, particularly in the first few critical days of an investigation. Notably, the conduct of a police officer, that of a reasonable officer on the scene, acknowledging that the officer may be forced to make split-second judgments in certain difficult circumstances, prevents the courts from engaging in unrealistic second guessing of the police officer's decisions. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Pardon? We're just not gonna worry. Like what? Like just automatically they just did the right thing because they're a police officer? I will note, this is not binding or primary, it's not binding or mandatory authority for the Commonwealth because this is a federal case. So that is actually a federal court of appeals. That's not gonna, they don't have to follow that. So that would just be considered like persuasive, but it's not mandatory. So they were not even able to find any Massachusetts case law to back that one up. Mr. Easter's report also seems to suggest that the defense is attempting to backdoor, you say, third-party culprit into a Bowden defense. Backdoor third-party, One could go off on a whole bunch of tangents with that one if one felt so inclined. Okay. Hi, Happy Annie. Welcome. Happy to see you again. Speaking of happy. Right. I know. Yes. I'm just looking at the chat here. As you guys know, it's harder to read the chat when you're reading a document. So I'm just trying to catch up here. I love that Heather just has all these Jennings quotes memorized. Love this. Thank you. It is abundantly clear that Twizzlestick used an unknown methodology to analyze and visualize that 22 seconds is a long time. Thank you. That is excellent. The only change I would make to that is Georgial-stick instead. But other than that, perfection. Yeah, buckets will never be the same again to me. I don't think of buckets the same anymore, sadly. Right. So, well, where were we here? Yes. Mr. Easter's report also seems to suggest that the defense is attempting to backdoor third-party culprit evidence to a bound defense. While often confused with each other, third-party culprit, oh my God, please educate us, Breenan. Third-party culprit and bound defenses are logically and legally different. Third-party culprit evidence is used to suggest that someone else committed the crime. So-called bound evidence is used to suggest that the evidence at trial may be inadequate or unreliable because the police failed to conduct the scientific tests. See here, this is like I was saying, there's an overlap here, though, because the third-party defense here involves law enforcement, right? Anyway, the police failed to conduct the scientific test or to pursue, like this entire thing is completely not acknowledging the elephant in the room, right? Which is Trooper Proctor. Anyway, or pursue leads that a reasonable police investigation would have conducted or investigated, and that these tests or investigation may reasonably have led to significant evidence of the defendant's guilt or innocence. Evidence admitted pursuant to a Bowden defense is not hearsay because it's not offered to show the truth of the matter asserted. If the defendant intends to offer evidence that police knew of an alternative suspect and failed to take reasonable steps to investigate, the information may be admitted simply to show that information was provided to police and not adequately investigated. However, this does not mean that defense counsel may always be able to admit third-party culprit evidence as part of a Bowden defense, even when it would otherwise not be admissible under a third-party culprit defense. In contrast to the third-party culprit defense, where evidence may be admitted regardless of whether the police knew of the suspect, third-party culprit information is inadmissible under a Bowden defense only if the police had learned of it during the investigation and failed reasonably to act on the information. So I would say it's still relevant here then. I mean, like, they were all there when they were using the fucking solo cups. They were all there when shit was happening with the Taillight. I mean, I don't even understand what this is. Oh boy. Sadly though, the thing is that when you're Breenan and you've got Judge Bev, you can just say whatever, and she's probably still likely to grant it if you're the Commonwealth. And it's almost like it probably doesn't really matter what you say, sadly. Furthermore, unlike third-party culprit evidence, there's no constitutional right to present a Bowden defense. The defense's speculative claims bolstered only by unreliable innuendos. He loves using that word, and I'm so fucking sick of it. Or a difference of opinion that serves to critique. And by the way, does he not know what, come on, Breenan. Like, you're ruining this word when this word usually has like a sexual undertone, and now you're taking it and making it into people's like constitutional rights being violated, like ruining it forever. Or a difference of opinion that serves to critique 3 years after the fact, investigative steps taken by law enforcement do not rise to sufficient probative weight that exceeds the risk of unfair prejudice to the Commonwealth. Oh my fucking God, why? And would confuse the jury by diverting their attention to collateral matters. For the above stated reasons, Mr. Easter should be excluded from... Can we just exclude Mr. Breenan for reasons that I hate him? Y'all, okay, keep reading. Mr. Easter should be excluded from testifying about any perceived inadequacies in the investigation. Yeah, I bet you want that. I bet you want that, Mr. Breenan. I bet you want that, Mr. Morrissey. Fuckheads. Fender! Hi, Fender! Oh my God. Fender, long time no see. I was literally just going to say, Fender, we have memberships now. Guess what? Fender's a member. And that rhymes. Fender, an OG squirrel right here. Love you so much. Fender, love you so much. I'm so happy you're here. Fender was here when we watched this trial round 1. And Fender is a psychologist. And Fender is joining us from India, people. Yeah, not even, I mean, of course, right? Yeah, it's just disgusting and sad. Ugh. Do you hear evidence got, I feel like there's so much mess. I'm not even sure what you're referencing here. ABC stock. Oh, I see what you're saying. One state can't get any, another gets it right. All right. Gotcha. Right. Yep. That is so cute that Heather's dog is dressed up for St. Patrick's Day. That is so cute. I love that so much. You know what's so funny? I'm wearing all green and it was not on purpose. Like I just happened to wear like 2 different colors of green. I have like a green sweater and like a green dress and like, well, I'm almost wearing like jeans, but like, anyway. And then I saw my mom earlier and she was like, oh, I love the green for St. Patrick's Day. And I was like, oh my God, that was like not even intentional, but like I knew it was St. Patrick's Day, but I didn't wear green on anyway. And it's funny because I don't have that much green. This is probably like the 2 green things I have. And I just happened to be wearing, really, it's because I was doing laundry and these 2 things were clean. So, but happy accident, as we say. We can all agree. Oh, wait, hold on. We need to do this. Let's do this the right way, people. Hold on. Let's do this the right way. Where is it at? Where is it at? Well, let's do this first.
Hard as a rock, freeze thaw effects on penetrometer resistance. His head's as hard as a rock.
That call is actually from Brian Higgins to you, isn't it?
Yes.
Obviously, you know how long 22 seconds is.
What's that?
You know how long 22 seconds lasts?
Yes.
Heather, because I love you.
I ate a lunch, like I had a whole delicious lunch.
Fucking Fievel. All right. Oh no, we can't get on a Fievel tangent. I could just laugh about Fievel for hours on end. Dude. And by the way, Fender, we already have a number of members only things. And oh, that is so sweet. Well, you're my favorite person in India. So and my favorite psychologist. I know you're saying is you can't pick a favorite psychologist. I can pick. It's easy for me. It's Fender. That's in reference to Fievel, Wendy, aka Fievel, who we just heard from. Good evening. I also have to say it in like a Dracula voice or whatever. I think you were here already though. Weren't you like the first one here? Because we were all talking to you and thanking you and whatever. And like, anyway, I guess you left and came back, but we're happy you're back / here the whole time. And good evening. So yeah, just the, Hector is my only way to try to stay sane through this stuff. Did I even finish reading this? Okay, hold on. I don't think I did. Oh yes, the innuendos. No, I did finish reading this. I did. It was hard. Oh my God, that's what she said. Okay, next document. Is this the one that's the biggest? Oh no, okay. No, we've got, I think, one more to go before the real insanity, even more so. Commonwealth's opposition to defendant's motion in limine to exclude the Commonwealth's. Okay, this is that Judson Welcher dude again, right? So remember, it looks like Judge Bev already granted this because remember that was the first one we looked at, or it said approved, right? And we were like, what did she approve? Just the voir dire or the impoundment? So this is opposing the testimony, or this looks like it's just about the voir dire. So it makes me wonder if the approved part was just the impoundment part, which is what I was thinking. Okay. Now comes the Commonwealth respectfully requests that this honorable court deny the defendant's motion without a hearing. A witness may testify to a matter of which they have personal knowledge. Your mom has personal knowledge, Breenan, not. To be competent, oh, for fuck's sake, are we really going to define competency? Because I don't know that you want to be fucking doing that. By the way, for anyone who missed it, Trooper Paul is still on the Commonwealth's witness list. Let me repeat that. Trooper Paul is still on the Commonwealth's witness list. To be competent, the witness, the witness must have the, quote, general ability or capacity to observe. Remember, I would say that the vast majority of the Commonwealth witnesses fail to meet this standard. The ability or capacity to observe. Are you kidding me? You guys. The body on the lawn, remembering anything, anybody, like any of the witnesses remembering anything. Like, look, remember is the next one. The ability to, or capacity to observe, remember, and give expression to that which he has seen, heard, or experienced. Literally, is this a joke? In addition, oh wait, it gets worse. In addition to an ability to tell the truth. Let me read this again in its entirety. This is blowing my mind. Wow. Okay. The witness must be competent. To be competent, the witness must have, quote, the general ability or capacity to observe, remember, and give expression to that which he or she has seen, heard, or experienced, in addition to an ability to tell the truth. Is this a joke? I just don't even understand. Don't understand? I don't understand. It does keep getting worse. I didn't even expect this to be one of, this is just about an expert. Like, what is happening? Well, Fender, have you been keeping up with this or no? Because Breenan started out okay, like the first hearing. Oh no, this is worse than Elaine. This is way worse than Elaine. This is so much worse than Elaine. Breenan is. The difference is in a criminal trial, we've got people's constitutional rights at stake, right? I know you guys know that. In Elaine, that was a civil trial. Oh yeah, computers can be annoying. Oh yeah, I adore Runkle. I talk about Runkle all the time. I absolutely adore Runkle. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I will say that honestly, some of what he's put in these filings is worse than what he says in the hearings. I will just say, but I will say also, we've been covering all of them, so we are up to speed. We've been covering all of them. And I mean, other people have too, but again, as always, if you go to the playlist, this is part 4, I think, of the Motions in Limine. So for anyone who's missed it, they can get caught up too. And as you guys know, everything is always timestamped. So if you want to see where all the spice, like Breenan is not holding back. Keep watching, guys, if you want to see, because I think you're going to see some insanity. I mean, we're already seeing it. Like, this is crazy. Credibility is resolved by the trier of fact. Where scientific, technical, or other specialized knowledge will assist a jury in understanding the evidence or to determine a fact and issue, a witness qualified by knowledge, skill, experience, training, or education may offer an opinion if his testimony is based upon sufficient facts or data. The testimony is the product of reliable principles and methods, and the witness has applied those principles and methods reliably. Why is that so circular? Look. I mean, this isn't Breenan because this is just Massachusetts, I guess. Look, the testimony of the product is, the testimony is the product of reliable principles and methods, and the witness has applied those principles and methods reliably. I mean, I don't know. Expert opinion is therefore divorced from the personal knowledge of a competent witness. In admitting expert testimony, Massachusetts generally follows the reasoning set forth in this case law. We accept the basic reasoning of the Daubert opinion because it is consistent with our test of demonstrated reliability. The Daubert-Lanigan test looks at the general acceptance in the relevant community, whether the theory could be tested, and whether there had been peer-reviewed publication of the theory or process. Cough, cough, Dr. Crosby. General acceptance in the relevant community is sufficient alone to establish admissibility. Yeah, I mean, first you have to establish the community with cough, cough, Dr. Crosby. And then there's Fry, which required that courts consider whether the community of scientists involved generally accepts the theories or process. Subsequently, in Lanigan, the court also adopted, in part, the reasoning of Daubert and held a proponent of scientific opinion evidence may demonstrate the reliability or validity of the underlying scientific theory or process by some other means, that is, without establishing general acceptance, because the touchstone of admissibility is reliability. Again, he said that in a different filing. And so what was it? We never finished that sentence. Remember when I was like, the touchstone of Breenan is fill in the blank. And it's like a Mad Lib. And not necessarily general acceptance within the scientific community. The court also stated that we suspect the general acceptance in the relevant scientific community will continue to be significant and often the only issue. Thus, a party seeking to introduce scientific evidence may lay a foundation either by showing that the underlying scientific theory is generally accepted within the relevant scientific community, or by showing that the theory is reliable or valid through other means. Why do I feel like he's giving a lot of just information about the background of the Daubert-Lanigan standard to not have to talk about whatever the actual issue is? Because this is not necessary here. This is for the court, and the court knows what this shit is, right? Like Jesus. The Daubert-Lanigan analysis at its core addresses whether the underlying theory or process of the expert testimony is reliable. Oh my God. What is he doing? Is he it's like he's filibustering. Breenan bustering. Fender's following up saying, yeah, Elaine didn't have the ability. Correct. That is right. That is very much a key factor here. Yes. Because as per our Constitution, it's very different when you've got criminal charges brought against a defendant, and that's when the Sixth Amendment kicks in, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the problems for sure. Yep. Bev's lack of grave concern is a concern. Yes. That's really fucking funny. Heather just mentioned that sounds like that could be a future hybrid. For Johnny Depp, we only have the one hybrid right now. Where is it? That's the one that we have. Now we do have, for anyone who hasn't seen this one, there's Elaine and Lolly. She's being chased by the Lolly bird. But we could I do like this idea here from Heather. Shout out to Miss Q. You're also in Canada, right, Miss Q? Okay. Tires. The Daubert standard is simply, what is happening here? So he's just like, this seems like something you would have to write if you were like, I don't know. This is odd. Like maybe if you're like writing a paper for something. I don't understand why this is in like a pleading. Like the court knows what these are. Wow. Like what has happened? Challenges to the conclusions drawn from reliable procedures go to the weight, not admissibility. What is happening? What is he doing? Okay, wow. Where do we get to what we're actually talking about here, Breenan? Walmart. Wow. This is like, we're a couple pages in and I don't even remember who they're fucking talking about anymore because it's just, oh, Dr. Welcher. Okay, fine. Finally, this may be relevant. The testing performed by Dr. Welcher is widely utilized and generally accepted. Dr. Welcher is certainly qualified and would testify to the methodology employed during his analysis and testing. What even does he do? Was he the rock dude? I don't even remember because it was so distracting with the hardest rock. Is that who that is? Because they're not even saying what this person is. So the Commonwealth, let's see here. Okay, wait, hold on. No, this is crazy. Okay, despite the defendant's assertions to the contrary, in a seemingly endless echo chamber of disinformation. Hey, guys, guess what, though? Guess what? Disinformation is not a word. He means to say misinformation. Disinformation is not a word, Breenan. Help. Oh, goodness. Australia as fuck. I'm sorry. I knew that. Thank you, Australia. Shout out to Australia. I knew that. We've been talking a lot about Canada tonight, so maybe that's why. So that's a great point. It's like raising issue with 1 + 1 as it should equal 2, and they write about how purple is a flavor. Yep. Good comparison there, Heather. Yeah, this is crazy. Disinformation's not a word. Although, I mean, Breenan struggles with things. Like, remember when he was saying cachet? And like, oh my God, there's a lot of examples, but that was one that really drove me crazy. Okay. Oh, or the hashtag. That was another one. All right. Despite the defendant's assertions to the contrary in a seemingly endless echo chamber of disinformation, it's like he's trying to write this based on just like, he just gives like a fuck ton of like generic case law. And then he just tries to get really like, what's the right word? Florid, maybe? Is that the word I'm looking for? With like his vocabulary and just, but what's really funny is when you pay attention, it's the same words over and over again. Like, for example, innuendo. It's like just trying to distract or something. Anyway, let me keep reading. Despite the defendant's assertions to the contrary in a seemingly endless echo chamber of disinformation, not a word. The Commonwealth produced to the defendant not only a copy of Dr. Welcher's detailed report regarding his opinion, but also the extensive list of materials he reviewed in formulating said opinion. Copies of those materials reviewed. A copy of his PowerPoint presentation. Okay, this is the stuff he provided. Furthermore, Dr. Welcher's report lists over the first 7.5 pages of specific material he reviewed in coming to his opinions. The report further enumerates 11 items of additional information obtained by Dr. Welcher to assist in his analysis. Dr. Welcher's narrative section of his report details within the body of the report where in the 140 slide PowerPoint presentation, he elucidates. That's another word he says a lot. With demonstrative evidence to support his opinions in direct, well, you know what he needs? He needs a thesaurus. In direct contrast to the defendant's characterization of the doctor's report as virtually unintelligible. I'm still not clear on which expert this is, but also speaking of which, I need to do this real quick. So we're going to look for, let me see here. What word? Okay. Elucidate. Explicate, he could use. Expound. I'm just looking for synonyms. Explain, explicate, expound, interpret. Let's do innuendo. Insinuation, suggestion, insult, smear, indignity, slight, affront. I feel like it's usually said in a sexual context. Is that just me? Maybe I'm crazy. And what was the other one he says all the time? I'm forgetting now. Maybe I'll think of it. He'll probably say it again. There was at least 3 of these that I had in mind. Great idea here from Miss Q. Should we pass the hat around for collection to get him at the source? No kidding, right? Yeah, it's definitely too many big words. I agree there, ABC. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like, but he's got the same, he rotates the same ones. This was kind of the point I was making. It's like he's got a handful of these words that he uses a lot, right? By the way, unintelligible just makes me think of, oh my God. Why am I blinking? Hold on. Oh my God, I'm blank. How the fuck? It's like I'm got tip of the tongue right now. Oh my God. I don't even want to say what I'm blanking on because then you guys will hate me. Hold on. Camille, of course. Duh. It's like I knew as soon as I went to search for it, I would think of it. Camille Vasquez. So the objection unintelligible. Objection unintelligible. That's what this makes me think of. Anyway, in addition, the portion of Dr. Welcher's presentation of which the defendant seemingly most prominently complains, the paint testing, does not solely include a mix of images as the defendant suggests. Okay, so this dude has to do with the car. I mean, this is the most we've gotten about what this dude does is because they said paint testing. The presentation includes photographic memorialization of the testing in question, but also slides with video memorialization of the. Oh, is this the one where they tested the vehicles? Okay. This is the one where they like backed the cars into each other. Okay. Now I know what they're talking about. Okay. Which clearly and unequivocally support Dr. Welcher's opinion that the location and orientation of the lacerations on John O'Keefe's right forearm and arm are consistent with the. Wait, what? Consistent with the geometry and orientation of the right taillight? Wait, so what type of expert is this then? Because you would need one type of expert who would be like, I can exactly duplicate how this bumping up happened of the cars. I'm really confused. Like, what? This sounds like a variety of experts in order to opine on all this. Enumerate. Yes, that was another one. Thank you. So synonyms for enumerate, list, detail, outline, itemize. There's actually a ton of synonyms for that. I have not noticed that. Wow. The location and orientation of the lacerations on John O'Keefe's right forearm and arm are consistent with the geometry and orientation of the right taillight. I am really confused. I don't even know which expert would be able to opine to this, first of all, and then how they would even draw that conclusion. Okay. Oh, yeah, let me ask you a question. Yep, that is one. Notably, the defense does not challenge Dr. Welcher's qualifications to offer biomechanical expert. So now that's what it is. Biomechanical expert. Okay. Biomechanical expert opinion testimony, and concedes that a biomechanical. How the fuck was this not brought up until page 5, by the way? The first 4 pages were just talking about how the history of Daubert. Okay, and concedes that a biomechanical engineer is qualified to testify as to the general principles of biomechanics. Rather, the defense challenges only whether Dr. Welcher is qualified to testify to medical causation of the injuries, an opinion he has not proffered. Well, yeah, because he's not allowed to. Duh, Judge Bev made that loud and clear. Biomechanics are qualified to determine what injury causation forces are in general and how can tell. Although, having said that, it sounds like she's going to let Dr. Crosby testify about it. How a hypothetical. Okay, I'm not going to read all that. Dr. Welcher's biomechanical engineering opinions involve the application of classic engineering mechanics theory. He provides a biomechanical causation analysis which employs objective biomechanical data and analysis to determine whether the forces resulting from. I will be curious about this dude, because this dude's going to come in and try to suggest somehow that John O'Keefe was hit by a car, and he's going to be going up against the ARCA dudes. I would not want to be him. The forces resulting from particular events are consistent with a sustained pathological condition or clinically diagnosed symptom. In this particular case, the biomechanical causation of the lacerations on the victim's forearm being consistent with the taillight, and the biomechanical causation of a 2021 Lexus striking the victim and the victim's head hitting the ground. Dr. Welcher is very clear in his extensive report as to what type of analysis opinions and the basis for said opinions are. Dr. Welcher states, as a biomechanical engineer, I have no opinion on any aspect of Mr. O'Keefe's medical treatment or medical diagnosis. This is just like what Dr. Crosby said with the medical treatment. And again, it's a straw man argument because there was no treatment for this, for John O'Keefe's arm. I mean, you get why? Why are we still doing this? I've conducted an accident reconstruction and biomechanical and engineering analysis of this matter. Weird. Dr. Welcher then and throughout the body of his report makes specific reference to 2 pages of specifically enumerated. There it is again. ABC. There it is. There it is again. Enumerated references within his field of expertise that he reviewed in arriving at his opinions. Situated between the classic disciplines of engineering and medicine, biomechanics provides a means of applying engineering mechanics to theory to a problem of accidental injury. Injury causation analysis is a multidisciplinary endeavor that employs objective medical and biomechanical data and analysis to determine whether a MVC, motor vehicle crash, caused a pathological condition or symptom diagnosed clinically. Dr. Welcher never, within his reports, analysis, and ultimate opinions, exceeds the bounds of his discipline. His credentials and expertise within the field are profound and extensive. Profound? Fuck. The defendant has been appropriately noticed of Dr. Welcher's expertise, his opinions, and the extensive materials he reviewed in formulating said opinions. Dr. Welcher's methodology, detailed profusely. I feel like I never hear that word used unless it's talking about something bleeding. Within both his report and associated PowerPoint presentation, photographs and videos is well founded in his discipline, and his expertise within this discipline is unassailable. Well, that's up for debate. Dr. Welcher's qualifications in the fields of crash reconstruction and biomechanical engineering are beyond reproach. By the way, Fender, let us know how it's going. Fender just recently opened her own practice for psychology. If you're still here, please let us know how it's going, and I'm rooting for you. Yeah, I agree with there. As I was there, speaking of Fender, this is basically in whom fall the party line expert. Yep. Yep. Yes. Okay. Dr. Welcher's testimony should not be misconstrued as medical opinion. That misses the point and exaggerates the extent to which this witness would be testifying to observations within his area of expertise. The Commonwealth has demonstrated that Dr. Welcher's testimony and opinions are amply based on reliable biomechanical methods and testing that is generally accepted within the relevant scientific community and will assist the jury in his case. Therefore, no hearing of voir dire is necessary, and Dr. Welcher should be permitted to render his expert opinions in biomechanics. Now, this is the big one. This is the big one from what I recall. You know, I was just thinking too, like if Hank Breenan had to make a choice of which expert he thinks is the most qualified and only one he gets only one to testify, right? He gets only one at trial as a hypothetical. And he has to pick between Mr. Judd Welcher or whatever that dude, and then like the hard as a rock dude and like the Dr. Crosby, right? And like, if he only could pick one, which one would he pick? Because he's like, they're all so vastly overqualified. It sounds like he thinks they're all amazing. So like which one would he pick? It's going well-ish. Okay. That sounds good. Sounds promising. I understand. Well, that's a good sign. I get you. I follow you. Yeah, that's good. That's a good sign. Yeah, we are very happy for you, Fender. Awesome. Awesome. No jinx. You deserve overwhelming success for sure. For sure. And Black Widow was here earlier, so I'm sure if she was still here, she would bestow upon you the luck of the Irish because it's St. Patrick's Day. I feel like we must all be lucky to have an actual Irish lass join us on St. Patrick's Day. Twice, actually, I believe she was here. I think she was here earlier as well. Okay, here we go. Buckle up. Get my goat ready. Herbert, are you ready? Yes. All right, Herbert's ready. Oh, that is so cute, Fender. What is St. Patrick's Day? I wish Black Widow was here to explain this because I'm sure what we think it is probably not accurate, to be honest. I'm not even going to attempt. Fender lives in India. Okay. Commonwealth's opposition to defendant's motion in limine to allow evidence of lack of bias. Get ready, guys. Now comes the Commonwealth in the above, caption matter, and respectfully, that's debatable, opposes the defendant's motion in limine to allow evidence of lack of bias. So what this was, for just anyone who missed it, one of the motions in limine from the defense that we already covered was they want to be able to say that ARCA, who hired ARCA, right? Because as we heard, the jury was really hung up on the fact that it was an unnamed third party, and we all know what transpired. And they want to be able to say, for obvious reasons, who hired them. Because it was a disaster, right? The thing that should have made them more credible made them less credible. Okay, contrary to so the Commonwealth opposes. Contrary to the defense's repeated representations to this court, the public, and the first jury, the employees of ARCA LLC were and are not impartial nor unbiased. The Commonwealth has a good faith belief that the defense instigated the now closed. Instigated? Huh? Wait. Let me read that again. The Commonwealth has a good faith belief that the defense instigated? No, it started with Sandra Birchmore. What? Okay, keep reading. Instigated the now closed federal investigation and actively participated in providing selective information and materials to the United States Attorney's Office to attempt to propel and shape the federal investigation. But wait, it gets worse. First, the extent of the murky relationship between the defense team and the past administration of the U.S. Attorney's Office is still unknown. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Footnote 1. Numerous jury requests have not produced sufficient relevant and material information needed to identify the extent of the relationship between the defense and the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is something that you would never expect to see, right? Because what? And what, if any, impact the relationship and source of materials may have had upon the scope of ARCA's directive and efforts? So Breenan is now just accusing like the entire fucking government and like Department of Justice as being corrupt and trying to help the defense. I mean, I don't understand why they would like. What would be no? There's not even a point in entertaining it because it's so completely irrational. To this day, it is unclear how that relationship may have shaped what the imaginary relationship, Breenan, may have shaped or impacted ARCA's efforts. The actual directive to ARCA made by the past administration of the U.S. Attorney's Office and any shaping of ARCA's efforts. So it seems like he really wants to try to keep like hammering the point home that it was the past administration, as if they got fired or something. I would imagine it's because we have a different president. So that's a straw man argument. It has been established that throughout the course of the federal investigation, the defense communicated with the U.S. Attorney's Office and provided material selected by the defense without any input from the Commonwealth, including related claims and information that advanced the defendant's theory of the case. A specific accounting of all materials provided to the ARCA witnesses by the U.S. Attorney's Office are indeterminate. Much of the inculpatory materials available do not seem to have been provided to the ARCA witnesses before they conducted their testing and presented their report. Footnote 2. In its report, ARCA witnesses did not appear to consider Mr. O'Keefe's DNA on the defendant's Lexus broken taillight casing. Taillight shards from the defendant's broken taillight found in Mr. O'Keefe's clothing. Text stream data. What? And numerous statements and admissions by the defendant to vary. This is very similar to what we read in one of the earlier filings tonight of the dude who would be an expert to come in and say the investigation was shitty, right? Where the argument that Breenan made there, it was very similar. It was like he didn't consider the weather, and then he listed a bunch of other things that are completely not within the realm of that expert field, that field of expertise, and just not. And it's doing the same thing here. It's like saying in its report, ARCA witnesses did not appear to consider that some people like mustard on a hot dog and some people don't. Well, fuck me then, right? Jesus Christ. Okay, people are talking about St. Patrick's Day. Let's catch up on this. So apparently it's the death of St. Patrick. Okay. Good. Yeah, I would love, that's why I would love to hear what it's like for people in Ireland, you know? So tomorrow, hopefully we can ask Blackwater and she can tell us from as an Irish lass, what it means for them in Ireland, right? I would love to hear that. Too fast, welcome. Of course, Fender. And see, this is what I'm saying. Breenan has lost his damn fucking mind. Like, he is gone. Breenan is not with us anymore in reality. Breenan has joined the ranks of Lori Vallow and Fievel. Not, well, almost. Let me just say almost. As soon as he commits a homicide, he'll be there. Let's just put it that way. Ugh. It's just. Okay. Oh my God. And there's the side swipe. It's there. Remember, I'm saying it again for everybody. Remember, Trooper Paul is still on the Commonwealth's witness list. And what's really funny, remember when we were just referencing the very first hearing ever since Breenan was brought on, when he seemed decent and we were all like, yeah. He said he was not, I don't remember if he said, I'm not calling Trooper Paul specifically, but he said things that made me and literally everyone else think he's not calling Trooper Paul. Also, he said things that made us think that he wasn't going to be calling all these McAlberts, but especially shit like the fucking Aruba people. Like, remember he was like, yeah, we're gonna, and he, at that first hearing, I almost feel like we should go back and rewatch it because it's a completely different Breenan. It's completely different Breenan. And he did say he's just getting into the discovery. So I think he made a lot of claims thinking that, and they seemed reasonable for like a normal trial and things you would expect. But then he got into this case and then it was like, oh, because, you know, winnowing down the witness list did not happen in terms of the civilian. Like he added people and then he removed Allie McCabe, but he added people. And the freaking Sullivan sisters are still on there. The sisters Sullivan and other people. And then the other thing was he said something about a different, you know, an expert for crash reconstruction or accident reconstruction. Trooper Paul is still on the list. But then there's this dude, right? Or not this dude. Sorry, the dude from the previous filing. Oh my God. I think we should watch that first hearing. I mean, it's not long. I think we should watch it again so we can remember what it was like when Breenan came on the case, because I think it's crazy. It's been a crazy transformation. I will just tell you guys, it's been a crazy transformation. This is a different person. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, this is Amber Heard level aligned with the ability to send her to prison. Yep. Wow. Well, now you know. And whenever you see Black Widow next in the chat, make sure you tell her happy belated St. Patrick's Day, because again, she's our Irish lass. Oh man. Okay. In fact, the defendant's expert, Dr. Rentschler, testified and acknowledged that if there's a side swipe impact with a pedestrian and a vehicle, there is going to be... Now, the only reason he testified to this, mind you, is because he was asked... This was because on cross, right? Lawley kept wanting to validate the side swipe, sadly. It was sad, and it was pathetic. We were all there. It was pathetic. And Lawley kept trying to bring in the side swipe. Do you guys remember that? Oh, my God. And trying to get him to validate the side swipe. And so this answer came from those attempts. If there is a side swipe impact with a pedestrian and a vehicle, there is going to be very little damage to the pedestrian. So a side swipe, by its very nature, involves minimal impact, minimal forces, minimal velocities. What about blunt force trauma? Which, contrary to the defendant's claims, advances the Commonwealth's theory of the case. I don't see how that's possible, because the theory was like he got hit so hard he flew across the yard, did a pirouette, and sustained other injuries that still have no explanation, even according to the Commonwealth's theory from the first trial. Okay. Second, there is no adequate assurance that the ARCA witnesses lack bias. Oh my God. The past opportunity to voir dire the ARCA witnesses did not mitigate the lack of transparency about the ARCA defense relationship. Does he think they're like secretly lovers? The defense did not inform the Commonwealth about its substantive relationship with ARCA until February 13th, day before Valentine's Day. Notably, the defense disclosures came one day after the new administration at the... Yeah, he's really fixated on this. It's just weird, right? The new administration at the U.S. Attorney's Office produced after... Wait, hold on. Notably, the defense disclosures came one day after the new administration at the... Okay, so this is a typo. It's not me. It's not me. It's him. This is missing a word. He's missing the word were. Let me fix it for him. Notably, the defense disclosures came one day after the new administration at the United States Attorney's Office were produced. In response to the Commonwealth's two-year request, materials that included correspondence between it and the defense. Before February 13th, 2025, the Commonwealth was wholly unaware of the defense's relationship with ARCA, including proposed retainer agreements, intention to compensate, and collaboration relative to questions and answers at trial. Rather, the questions posited by the defense during voir dire testimony and trial testimony created impressions that were clearly not consistent with the actual relationship between the parties. The voir dire was necessarily insufficient and fruitless. This is crazy. I feel like we're watching someone go off the deep end and we need to intervene. Footnote 3. To this day, the correspondence between the defense and ARCA witnesses is missing context. Please, Breenan, enlighten us to that context. No discovery has been forthcoming since February 13th, 2025. Are you saying things changed after Valentine's Day? Notably, during the pendency of this case, this is the only time the defense produced reciprocal discovery prior to a discovery deadline. I'm so over this. Third, the ARCA witnesses have a clear bias in this case. Guys. Yeah, you know what's so funny? You weren't here, or maybe you were here because you said you didn't realize it was live. Anyway, I wore green. I knew it was St. Patrick's Day, but I also wore green without even... I didn't even think about it, and then my mom pointed it out. And it's funny because I'm wearing two green things, and I don't have that much green, but I'm wearing two green things right now. It's pretty funny. Okay, third, the ARCA witnesses have a clear bias in this case. In addition to the shifty trial... Holy fucking shit! What the fucking fuck? Fuck. You've got to be kidding me. Sorry. Thank you, Fender. Fender says, Chelsea, if you can't read it, I guarantee it's him, not you, every time. Thank you, Fender. You guys, help. How is he saying this? This is what I'm saying. He's been poisoned. In addition to the shifty trial testimony relative to the witness's relationship with the defense. Trial testimony. He's calling the ARCA dudes shifty. They're shifty. He's saying they're shifty. You've got to be kidding me. Put some earmuffs on Pitbullpotamus. Look, if we're reading these documents, there's going to be Herbert goading because there's no way around it. And just get some little earmuffs for Pitbullpotamus, and that'd be really cute anyway. You know, never miss an opportunity to do something cute, you know, with your pup. Although I know he will hate him. I hate them. Like, I feel like I know this dog well enough that I feel like he will fall over if you put those on. But that could be pretty funny as long as he doesn't get hurt. Wow. Okay. In addition to the shifty trial testimony relative to the witness's relationship with the defense, the ARCA witnesses did not contain their opinions to the parameters of their report during trial testimonies. At trial, Dr. Wolf and Dr. Rentschler posing as neutral. Posing as neutral? Posing as neutral. I'm going to try not to go posing as neutral. Posing as neutral. Independent experts were permitted to speculate, he says, and render opinions far beyond what was stated in their written reports. I'm losing my mind. It is still unexplained why Dr. Rentschler disclosed for the first time in cross-examination that he learned of additional evidence that was favorable to the Commonwealth, evidence that the victim was not wearing a jacket. The victim's DNA was located on the defendant's taillight. I swear to God. The victim's DNA was on a drinking glass near the body, and that the microscopic pieces of taillight were recovered in the victim's clothes. Yeah, he said it wouldn't have changed his opinion. Dr. Rentschler alluded to the details of his findings, suggestive that he had been provided the actual crime laboratory reports or information not publicly revealed from either the defense or from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Footnote 4. Oh, no. Quote, I believe DNA was tested and some DNA was found. I believe a small amount. I don't believe any blood evidence was located or found on any pieces, but there was indication of DNA on the taillight housing. Notably, prior to Dr. Rentschler's testimony, the Commonwealth was notified. Did he forget? Okay. Well, we have another Breenan error. So you'll notice, people, at footnote 4, there's a quote, because I always pay attention to this, right? And I'm going to read it again. I'm going to include the quote. So, quote, I believe DNA was tested and some DNA was found. I believe a small amount. I don't believe any blood evidence was located or found on any pieces, but there was indication of DNA on the taillight housing. Notably, prior to Dr. Rentschler's testimony, the Commonwealth was not notified. Wait a second. How is he testifying to this? Oh, Breenan forgot the end quote. The end quote should be after taillight housing right here where the hand is. See the little hand? DNA on the taillight housing. End quote. Notably, prior to Dr. Rentschler's testimony, the Commonwealth was not notified of additional material reviewed or considered by either ARCA witness. Additionally, the defense has produced no reciprocal discovery about their communications with Dr. Rentschler. Breenan, you're spreading disinformation, including, but not limited to, the fact that that is not a word. These materials are not in the list of materials reviewed proffered in the ARCA report. It is unknown the source of these materials. It is disingenuous. This is just another. Each one is worse than the last. I'm afraid of what we're going to hear from him at the hearing. I'm like legit afraid. Trial starts in 15 days? Actually, it's after midnight, 14 days. Bev has still not ruled on the motion to dismiss, although I already know what she's going to say. Fucking hell. Heather, did you weigh in on the earmuffs for the Pitbullpotamus? Yeah. Shout out to Tonka. Happy to see you. They did testify exactly like their voir dire. Oh, dear. Yeah, I haven't read that one yet. Y'all, well, thank you for the warning, Happy Annie. Thank you for that. Heather, when we get to footnote 5, cover Pitbullpotamus's ears, please. There's been a couple times where we both screamed at the same time. You know when I think that was? I think that was in the Zachary Hughes trial when he blurted out stuff about, I think, I could be wrong, but there was and that was just a genuine reaction where I was screaming and the goat was screaming and it was still not enough of screaming. And it probably was awful for you guys to hear, but it was just my reaction. Welcome back. Need some Z's. Love it. Yeah, right. Yeah. ABCs. I know. Trooper Paul's theory is so believable and has zero speculation in it. Right. I know. I will just say I was actually happy and excited to see that he's still on the witness list. I was like, great, call him. Because I want to see that again. That was a train wreck. That was so magical. Like, please call him again. Okay. Sometimes I can't, most of the time I probably can't give y'all a goat warning because it's spontaneous, but shout out to Happy Annie who said footnote 5 is like going to be the worst. So now I can probably give you guys a heads up that there will be probably some screaming. Oh, okay. Let me drink a sip of coffee. I mean, you know what? Speaking of the example Heather gave earlier of 1 + 1 and then describing the color purple. Imagine if you asked Trooper Paul, what's 1 + 1? Y'all in the chat right now. Throw it in the chat. If you ask Trooper Paul, what's 1 + 1? What do you think are some of the answers you might get? I'm excited to see what you guys think. Excited. Do brilliant. Million points to Twiz. Excited Goderance. Yes. An excited Goderance. That is it. Million points to Twiz. Well done. Okay, Trooper Paul. So you're questioning Trooper Paul, right? On your, I don't even think it matters if it's direct or cross, but you're asking him questions. So and Trooper Paul, what is 1 + 1? What's his answer? Oh, Fender bringing in with a great memory here with the aspects. Yep. Good job. It just did was another good quote. Yeah. He can't do it because it was a side swipe, not head on. Brilliant. Y'all are the best. What about he can't answer the question unless the numbers speak to him? He can't even, it's just an excuse. I can't answer it unless the numbers speak to me. Twiz with a little bit of a more darker sense here of humor, if you will. I'd ask him what's 1 + 1 and then show him balloon nuts. I do not recall. That's a good one too. He had a lot of good quotes about physics too that were just kind of pickled onions. Good. I didn't learn that in my math class. You guys are the best. Y'all, every single one of these is gold. Let me ask Lolly first. Love it. Trooper Paul's answer is always Karen Reed. Oh my God. This is great. We got to do something, right, to tolerate this. Fender with the actual quotes. We didn't go that deep into detail. Legit quote. Thank you, Fender. Love it. Ooh, that's a good one. What if you ask 1 + 1 and then invert it? What would he get it then? Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Oh my God. That's a good one, Twiz. That's clever. That's clever. Y'all are awesome. Wow. Trooper proctologist can I refer to the report for the answer to 1 + 1. Yeah, right. Another direct quote here from Fender. I don't know what you want me to say, Paul to AJ. Yep. I don't know what you want me to say. You know what's so funny is it's almost like he's almost inviting you to give him the answer. It's like you could have taken him up on that. It's like, oh, well, here's what I want you to say. Never would you ever expect a witness to say that to you, right? Like you don't expect that as an attorney. It's like, whoa. All right, let's get into it. It is disingenuous for the defense to posture the ARCA witnesses as completely neutral and independent. Since the February 18th, 2025 hearing date, the Commonwealth has learned that the defense-ARCA relationship appears cozier than once portrayed. So I was joking earlier, the jokes about, he was saying about their relationship, and then everything changed after February 13th. And I was making the jokes about Valentine's Day, and there were a couple other things, but now he's adding in Cozier. So what are we talking about here? I don't even know. But now we're getting to footnote 5. So people with pets cover their ears. Footnote 5. Notably, photographs have recently been discovered by the Commonwealth and subsequently produced in discovery depicting Dr. Rentschler attending a private luncheon and conversing with the defendant's father at this luncheon. Wait, what? Recently been discovered. They had lunch? Dr. Rentschler was at a luncheon. So the way it says a private luncheon, it wasn't like a lunch date, right? A luncheon is usually a large group of people. I think he threw the word private in there because he's clearly trying to make it seem like they're all like fucking each other or something along those lines. Cozy. Dude, I don't even know anymore. Do people not know Missy Elliott? Agreed. Yes, definitely agree with that. What the fuck is he talking about? You got me. Happy Annie says no. This lunch was after they testified in the. Oh, it's in the cafeteria, so that's why it's a lunch. That makes sense. Yep, that makes sense. So, because like I said, like this context, even with Breenan saying it, I'm like, that's not like a lunch date at a restaurant or whatever. It's in the cafeteria at the courthouse. So they were eating lunch because they were in trial after they testified. You gotta be kidding me. Do you guys remember too, like how many times during the trial, the Commonwealth and witnesses were doing things that were untoward and like meeting with each other and like, it just came up even in one of the recent court filings. What was it? It was Brian Albert, I think, actually. Yeah, I think it was Brian Albert. We're over the lunch. Him and Lolly were talking. Anyway, dude, it's just, I can't. Oh my God, thank you. You're right. What are we doing? Thank you, Tonka, for keeping us on track. Tonka says, I was expecting Wendy's and I had a delicious lunch. I just am my mind is so blown by the Breenan-ness of it all that thank you for keeping us on track, Tonka. Yes. What are we even doing?
I ate a lunch, like I had a whole delicious lunch.
And for good measure, we're going to watch the new friend.
Yesterday, I was taking a walk around 5. I met a new friend. We went to Tallahassee food trucks.
Wow.
Last night, hung out with her for hours.
Yeah.
Wendy made another new friend? Are you fucking kidding me? Why?
She also Googled. There was a shooting, do you know? Both she and John.
Stop.
Why would they Google? Why would that just come up?
Sorry. Heather says, I met a new friend on a whole hawk. Bitch, how old are you?
It's very big.
The 5 breaks, it's always, it literally, it will always make me just laugh, even when I'm pissed off at this shit. Dude. Good one, Twiz. Yeah. Oh, dear mother of God. Trying to type. Yeah. Okay. So we did the footnote 5. Oh my God. It's getting bigger. Okay. That's what she said. 4th, posturing that the ARC experts were retained by the U.S. Attorney's Office and introducing a federal investigation to the jury implies some speculation of wrongdoing attributed to investigators and or civilian witnesses. Introduction of a federal investigation. Yeah, that's what they don't want coming in. I mean, I love that he's listing it 4th, like it's the 4th thing. No, it's the first thing, Breenan. Like, it's the truth, but you don't want it coming in. Introduction of a federal investigation would in turn demand a complete, let me read this part again. Fourth, posturing that the ARCA experts were retained by the U.S. Attorney's Office and introducing a federal investigation to the jury implies some speculation of wrongdoing attributed to investigators and or civilian witnesses. Introduction of a federal investigation would in turn demand a complete and transparent portrait. The introduction of a federal investigation to the jury is only balanced if the jury is fully informed about the actual relationship between the defense and the prior administration. Again, with the prior administration. Weird. Did he vote for Trump? At the United States Attorney's Office, any impact of the defense's contributions of materials to U.S. Attorney's Office impacted the scope and direction guiding the ARCA investigation. Complete discovery revealing the entire relationship between ARCA and the defense, and the conclusion that the United States is going to hell in a handbasket. No, that's not what it says. That the United States Attorney's Office engaged in a comprehensive investigation, and that its investigation is now closed. Also, the jury should be informed that the now closed federal investigation had no target, led to no indictments, no criminal complaints, no charges, and no other adverse finding, and instead impliedly absolved the witnesses of any wrongdoing. Because of the complexity of the defense request and the fact that the information, the thing is it's not their fault, Breenan, that your brain can't understand things. And the fact that the information necessary to create a full picture is both missing and would lead to a trial within a trial. Okay, well, hold on. Back up. I am all for that, you guys who were here for Murdoch. Trial within a trial? Trial inception? Yes, please. We had 3 trials within a trial in Murdoch, and it was amazing. The Commonwealth objects to the defense motion and requests the motion to be denied. So, and when I say 3 trials in a trial, I don't just mean it happened 3 times. I mean, it was a trial within a trial within a trial, and it was glorious. I will also add this, that perhaps if Breenan is having a hard time understanding the defense's request, maybe what the defense needs to do is just use a certain number of words repeatedly, like enumerate, elucidate, and innuendo, and then Breenan will understand. What do you guys think? He needs to say the word closed about the... I mean, I'm not quite sure I understand. I mean, he does say closed, now closed. Are you saying that? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, speak his language. Wait, what's just not husbands? Oh, I see. Wendy is a nice lady. She can have friends. Just no. No. No friends for her. Too fast. Yeah. I think they should drug test attorneys before they enter the courtroom that day. Yep. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Closed doesn't mean anything other than not enough evidence to go forward with anything. Proctor messed this case up so bad. Can't figure any. You're right. Yep. Yes. Who, if anyone, was driving the Breenan ambulance? Oh, dear Lord. So, guys, speaking of trial within a trial, and speaking of Murdoch, we're going to redirect. We are just revisiting some key testimony and favorite moments of the trial. And right now we are at, well, I would say one of the most exciting parts. The entire thing is the most exciting part. That trial is the best. But we are at one of those. So the jury is going to learn for the first time about 1, the financial crimes, 2, the drugs, and I'm sure other things, but those are 2 big ones. Side of the road is still up in the air at this juncture. And anyway, it is a really fun trial. It's awesome. It's great. It's full of surprises, full of what's the right word? Character and culture and all kinds of things. Also, I think that one of the days we're going to be on is the day that they had the bomb threat happen, which was kind of insane. So for those of you guys who are putting off the Z's, you can hang with us. Oh, I think, okay, you're talking to Twizzle Stick there. George'll Stick. Amazing trial. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so you guys, tomorrow's going to be insane. Breenan might get committed to a place after this. We'll see what happens. But yeah, other than that, we're going to redirect on over. Hopefully the Lori and Chad's portal will work. If not, you can just click the live stream. And yeah, but other than that, I'm going to go ahead and roll the outro, and I'll see you guys here in just a second. Love y'all, and squirrel out.